Little Tommy stood in the middle of the big, fancy living room, tears running down his face. His mouth was open wide, crying, but no sound came out. His hands moved fast, making shapes in the air, trying to tell his father something important. But his father, Mr. Richard Montgomery, the richest man in the city, just walked past him. Again. He didn't even look down. The boy's small shoulders shook as he cried harder. Nobody heard him. Nobody understood him. Nobody even tried. Until she walked into that house. What happened next changed everything. And it all started with one simple thing that nobody else had ever done for this lonely little boy. Before we continue, drop your city in the comments. We'd love to know where you're watching from. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss another powerful story like this. Now, let's continue. Tommy Montgomery was 8 years old. He lived in the biggest, most beautiful house you could ever imagine. It had 12 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, a swimming pool, and a garden so large you could get lost in it. But Tommy was the loneliest boy in the whole world. You see, Tommy was born deaf. He couldn't hear the birds singing outside his window. He couldn't hear the rain tapping on the roof. He couldn't hear his father's voice. And worst of all, his father couldn't hear him either. Not because his father was deaf. No. His father could hear perfectly fine. But Mr. Richard Montgomery was too busy to listen. Too busy making money. Too busy with meetings. Too busy with everything except his own son. Tommy's mother had died when he was just 3 years old. She was the only person who really loved him, who held him close, who learned sign language to talk to him. But now she was gone, and Tommy was left alone in this big, cold mansion with a father who looked at him like he was broken. Every morning, Tommy woke up in his huge bedroom. He got dressed by himself. He went downstairs by himself. He ate breakfast by himself at the long dining table while his father read the newspaper at the other end, not even glancing up. Tommy would try to get his attention. He'd wave his hands. He'd tap the table. Sometimes he'd even walk right up to his father and tug on his expensive suit jacket. Not now, Tommy, his father would say, pulling away. I have important work to do. Tommy couldn't hear the words, but he could read his father's face. It always said the same thing. You're bothering me. Go away. The house had 3 maids over the years. They would clean Tommy's room, make his food, and wash his clothes. But none of them really cared about him. They just did their jobs and went home. The first maid, Mrs. Peterson, was scared of Tommy. She thought deaf people were strange. She would put his food down and run away quickly. The second maid, Miss Clara, was always angry. She yelled at Tommy when he made messes, forgetting that he couldn't hear her shouting. She quit after 6 months. The third maid, Mrs. Rodriguez, was just there. She didn't care one way or the other. She did her work like a robot and never smiled. Then one day, everything changed. It was a rainy Tuesday morning when she arrived. Tommy was sitting on the stairs, playing with his toy car, rolling it up and down the steps. He felt bored and sad, just like every other day. Then he saw her. A woman walked through the front door, carrying a small brown bag. She was younger than the other maids, maybe in her late 20s. She had kind eyes and a warm smile. She wore a simple maroon uniform, and her hair was pulled back neatly, but that's not what made Tommy stare. As she walked in and saw Tommy sitting on the stairs, she stopped. She didn't walk past him like everyone else did. She didn't ignore him. Instead, she put down her bag, and she did something amazing. She raised her hands and made shapes in the air. Tommy's eyes went wide. His mouth felt open. She was using sign language. Hello. She signed with a bright smile. My name is Maya. What's your name? Tommy couldn't believe it. Someone was actually talking to him. In his language, his little hands shook with excitement as he signed back. I'm Tommy. It's so nice to meet you, Tommy, Maya signed. I'm going to be working here now. I hope we can be friends. Tommy jumped up from the stairs and ran to her. He grabbed her hand and squeezed it tight. For the first time in years, he felt seen. He felt heard. He felt like he mattered. Maya squeezed his hand back and smiled even wider. From across the hallway, Mr. Montgomery walked out of his office. He saw the new maid holding hands with his son and frowned. "You must be the new maid," he said coldly. "I'm Mr. Montgomery. Here are the rules. Clean the house. Make the meals. Do the laundry. Stay out of my way. And keep the boy out of my way too. Don't let him bother me when I'm working. Is that clear?" Maya looked at this tall, serious man in his expensive suit. Then she looked down at little Tommy, who was smiling up at her with hope in his eyes. "Yes, sir," she said out loud, crystal clear. But inside, Maya made a different promise. She promised herself that she would never, ever ignore this beautiful child. The first few days with Maya were like magic for Tommy. Every morning, Maya would come to his room and wake him up with a gentle touch. She'd sign, "Good morning, sunshine. Time to start our day." They'd go downstairs together, and Maya would make breakfast. But she didn't just put the food down and walk away. No, she'd sit right next to Tommy and eat with him. They'd have whole conversations in sign language. "What do you want to do today?" Maya would ask. "Can we play in the garden?" Tommy would sign back, his face glowing with happiness. Of course. Right after breakfast, Tommy had so much to say. Years and years of words trapped inside him finally came pouring out. He told Maya about his favorite toys, his favorite colors, how much he missed his mom, how lonely he felt, and how much he wished his dad would just look at him. Maya listened to every single word. Her eyes never looked away. Her hands never stopped signing back. "I see you, Tommy," she signed. "I hear everything you're saying. And you know what? You're the most special boy I've ever met." Tommy's eyes filled with tears, but this time they were happy tears. For the first time in 5 years, someone actually cared. But Mr. Montgomery didn't like this one bit. "Why are you spending so much time with the boy?" he asked Maya one evening. "You have other work to do." "My work is done, sir," Maya replied calmly. "The house is clean. Dinner is ready. And Tommy needs attention too." "He's fine," Mr. Montgomery snapped. "Stop babying him. He needs to learn to be independent. He's 8 years old, sir. He needs love." Mr. Montgomery's face turned red. "I don't pay you to give me parenting advice. Just do your job." Maya bit her tongue. She wanted to say so much more, but she knew she'd lose her job. And if she lost her job, Tommy would lose the only friend he had. So she nodded and went back to the kitchen. But she didn't stop spending time with Tommy. Maya had a plan. Every afternoon, while Mr. Montgomery was locked in his office on important phone calls, Maya and Tommy would sit in the library. She started teaching him things. She taught him how to read better. She taught him about numbers and math. She taught him about the world, about different countries, about animals and stars and oceans. But most importantly, she taught him that being deaf didn't make him broken. It made him special. Do you know that deaf people can do anything hearing people can do? Maya signed one day. They can be doctors, teachers, artists, athletes, anything they dream of. Really? Tommy's eyes sparkled. Really? You're so smart, Tommy. So creative. So brave. Don't ever let anyone make you feel less than amazing. Tommy hugged her so tight. But Tommy also noticed something. Even though Maya could sign, she could also hear and speak. She wasn't deaf like him. "Why did you learn sign language?" Tommy asked her one day. Maya's smile became sad for just a moment. Then she signed, "Because I had a little brother, just like you. His name was Daniel. He was deaf too. He was my best friend in the whole world." "Where is he now?" Tommy asked. "He's in heaven with the angels now." Maya signed, wiping a small tear from her eye. "He got very sick when he was 10 years old. But before he left, he made me promise something. He made me promise that I would help other deaf kids so they wouldn't feel alone like he sometimes did." "I'm sorry he's gone," Tommy signed. "Me too. But you know what? When I see you smile, I feel like Daniel is smiling too. That's why I'm here, Tommy. I'm here because you deserve to be loved. You deserve to be heard. Tommy threw his arms around Maya and held on tight. She held him right back, and they both cried a little bit. But they were good tears. Healing tears. As the weeks passed, something strange started happening. Tommy was happy. He smiled all the time now. He laughed silently at Maya's jokes. He ran through the house with energy and joy. He drew pictures and showed them to Maya. He played in the garden and brought her flowers. And slowly, very slowly, he started trying to get his father's attention again. One evening, Mr. Montgomery came home from work extra tired. He walked into the living room and stopped dead in his tracks. There, on the wall, were 20 colorful drawings. Tommy's drawings. Pictures of the garden, the house, Maya, and one picture of Tommy holding his father's hand. "What is this mess?" Mr. Montgomery shouted. "Who put these up?" Tommy ran into the room, so proud and excited. He pointed at the drawings, then at himself. He wanted his father to see what he'd made, but his father's face wasn't proud. It was angry. "Take these down right now. This is not an art gallery. This is my house." Tommy's smile disappeared. His hands started signing frantically, trying to explain, trying to show his dad how hard he'd worked. But his father didn't understand sign language. And worse, he didn't want to. "Stop waving your hands around. I don't understand that nonsense." Tears filled Tommy's eyes. Maya rushed into the room. "Sir, please. He just wanted to show you his art. He's so proud of." "I don't care," Mr. Montgomery roared. "This is exactly what I was talking about. You're making him soft. You're making him think the world will cater to him. It won't. He needs to face reality." "He's a child," Maya said, her voice shaking but strong. "He needs his father. What he needs is to toughen up. The world isn't kind to people with disabilities. He needs to learn that now." Maya stepped in front of Tommy, protecting him. "No, sir. What he needs is someone who believes in him. What he needs is love. What he needs is you." Mr. Montgomery's face turned purple with rage. "You're fired. Pack your things and get out of my house." "No." Tommy couldn't make a sound, but his mouth formed the word. His hands signed desperately. "Please, don't go. Don't leave me." But his father didn't understand. Maya knelt down and hugged Tommy tight. She was crying now, too. "I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. Please don't go," Tommy signed, tears streaming down his face. "You're my only friend. I need you. I don't want to go," Maya signed back. "But your father is telling me to leave." Tommy turned to his father. He ran to him and grabbed his legs, looking up at him with desperate, crying eyes. His hands moved in sign language, begging, pleading. But Mr. Montgomery just stood there, cold as ice. "Security will escort you out," he said to Maya. "You have 10 minutes. And just like that, Maya was gone. After Maya left, Tommy stopped smiling. He stopped eating much. He stopped playing. He just sat in his room, staring out the window, holding the one thing Maya had left behind, a small stuffed bear she'd given him. Mr. Montgomery hired a new maid immediately. This one was older, stricter. She didn't know sign language. She didn't smile. She just worked. Days turned into weeks. Tommy became a ghost in his own home. He moved through the rooms silently, invisibly, like he didn't exist at all. And Mr. Montgomery? He went back to his work. He told himself he'd done the right thing, that he was teaching his son to be strong, that this was for Tommy's own good. But late at night, when the house was quiet, he'd walk past Tommy's room. He'd see the light under the door. He'd hear, well, he couldn't hear anything, because Tommy couldn't make sounds. But he could imagine the crying, and something in his chest felt tight. One night, Mr. Montgomery found one of Tommy's drawings on the floor. It must have fallen when the others were taken down. He picked it up. It was the picture of him and Tommy holding hands. At the bottom, in Maya's handwriting, were words. Tommy drew this. He said, "This is me and Daddy. I love him even though he doesn't love me." Mr. Montgomery stared at those words for a long, long time. Even though he doesn't love me, he sat down on the stairs, still holding the picture. For the first time in years, he really thought about his son. When had he become this person? This cold, distant father? When had work become more important than his own child? He remembered when Tommy was born. He remembered holding that tiny baby in his arms, feeling so much love, so much hope. He remembered his wife's smile as she looked at their son. Then he remembered the day the doctor told them Tommy was deaf. He remembered the fear, the confusion, the overwhelming feeling of, I don't know how to handle this. And slowly, that fear had turned into distance. Distance had turned into avoidance. And avoidance had turned into this. A lonely son, an empty house, and a father who'd forgotten how to love. Mr. Montgomery put his face in his hands. What had he done? The next morning, Mr. Montgomery did something he never did. He skipped work. He went into the kitchen where the new maid was preparing breakfast. Where did the previous maid go? He asked. Maya, do you have her contact information? The maid looked surprised. I believe Mrs. Henderson in HR has her file, sir. Mr. Montgomery made the call. He got Maya's phone number. And then he did something even more surprising. He called her. Hello? Maya's voice sounded tired, sad. This is Richard Montgomery, he said stiffly. I need to speak with you. Can you come to the house? There was a long pause. Sir, you fired me. I know. He cleared his throat. I was wrong. Please, just come. One time. I need to talk to you about Tommy. Another pause. Is he okay? No, Mr. Montgomery admitted quietly. He's not. Please. An hour later, Maya walked through the front door again. Tommy was upstairs in his room. He didn't know she was there. Mr. Montgomery stood in the living room, looking uncomfortable and lost. Thank you for coming, he said. Maya crossed her arms. What do you want? I need. He struggled with the words. I need you to teach me. Teach you what? How to talk to my son. Maya's eyes widened. What? Mr. Montgomery sat down heavily on the couch. I've been a terrible father. I know that now. I pushed him away because I was scared. I didn't know how to communicate with him. I didn't know how to help him, so I just avoided him. I threw money at the problem and hired people to deal with him instead of being his father. He looked up at Maya with genuine pain in his eyes. But I see what I've done. I've made him feel worthless, unloved, and that's not true. I do love him. I love him so much it terrifies me. But I've never shown him that. I've never told him that. Because I don't know how. Maya's expression softened just a little. Please, Mr. Montgomery continued, come back. Not just as a maid, as a teacher. Teach me sign language. Teach me how to be the father Tommy deserves. I'll pay you triple, quadruple, whatever you want. This isn't about money, Mr. Montgomery. I know. He stood up and looked her right in the eyes. This is about my son, and I'm ready to finally put him first. Maya studied his face for a long moment. Then she took a deep breath. Okay, she said. But I have conditions. 1. You don't just learn sign language. You spend real time with Tommy. Every single day. No excuses. 2. You be patient with him and with yourself. This won't be easy. 3. You show up. Really show up. Not just physically, but emotionally. That boy needs a father who's present. Mr. Montgomery nodded. I agree to all of it. Then we start now. Maya sat Mr. Montgomery down at the dining room table. She put a chart in front of him with hand shapes and letters. This is the sign language alphabet, she explained. This is where we begin. For the next 2 hours, Mr. Montgomery practiced making shapes with his hands. It felt awkward. His fingers didn't bend the right ways. He kept messing up. "This is harder than closing million-dollar deals," he muttered. "Because this actually matters," Maya said simply. He looked at her and nodded. "You're right." They practiced more. Maya showed him simple signs. "Hello. I love you. Thank you. Sorry. Dad." "Well, why, Dad?" That last one made Mr. Montgomery pause. The sign for Dad. When would he see Tommy make that sign to him? "Can I see him?" he asked quietly. "Is he upstairs?" "Yes, but let's wait until you can at least say hello." That night, Mr. Montgomery didn't sleep much. He stayed up late, practicing signs over and over again with the help of videos Maya had given him. His hands hurt, his brain hurt, but he didn't stop. The next afternoon, Maya told Tommy she had a surprise for him. "What kind of surprise?" Tommy signed. "A good one. Come downstairs with me." Tommy slowly followed Maya down the stairs. When they reached the living room, he froze. His father was standing there, waiting. Tommy's face fell. He turned to leave, not wanting to be ignored again, not wanting to feel that pain again. But then his father's hands moved. Slowly, carefully, his father signed, "Hello, Tommy." Tommy stopped breathing. His eyes went huge. He turned around so fast he almost tripped. His father was signing? His father was signing? Mr. Montgomery's hands moved again, slower this time, making sure he got it right. "I'm sorry." Tommy's mouth fell open. Tears immediately filled his eyes. His father took a shaky breath and continued signing. "I love you." And that's when Tommy broke. He ran across the room and crashed into his father's legs, holding on tight, his little body shaking with sobs. Mr. Montgomery knelt down and wrapped his arms around his son. He was crying too, big tears running down his face. "I'm so sorry," he whispered out loud, even though Tommy couldn't hear him. Then he signed it again. "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Tommy pulled back and looked at his father's face. Really looked. And for the first time in years, his father's eyes weren't cold or distant or annoyed. They were full of love. "I love you, Daddy," Tommy signed, his little hands shaking. "I love you too, son," his father signed back. "So much. I always have. And I'm going to be better. I promise." From across the room, Maya wiped tears from her own eyes. This was why she'd come back. This moment, right here. The change didn't happen overnight. But it did happen. Every morning, Mr. Montgomery woke up early to practice his sign language before Tommy got up. Then he'd go to Tommy's room and wake him up himself. "Good morning, son," he'd sign with a big smile. They started having breakfast together. Real breakfast, where they both sat at the same end of the table and had actual conversations. "What do you want to do today?" Mr. Montgomery would ask. "Can we play outside?" Tommy would sign back, his eyes bright with hope. "Absolutely." After breakfast, Mr. Montgomery also started working less. He left his office at 5 p.m. every single day, no matter what. That time was for Tommy now. They played board games. They went to the park. They drew pictures together. They read books. With Mr. Montgomery practicing reading aloud while Tommy read along, learning new words. And slowly, the mansion started to feel less like a cold, empty building and more like a real home. Maya watched it all happen with a full heart. She'd see Mr. Montgomery and Tommy playing in the garden, both of them laughing silently, signing jokes to each other. One day, about 3 months after everything changed, Mr. Montgomery came to Maya in the kitchen. "I want to enroll Tommy in a school," he said. "A special school for deaf children, where he can make friends, learn from teachers who understand him, and just be around other kids like him." Maya's eyes lit up. "Really? Really? I've been researching. There's an excellent school about 20 minutes from here. I'm going to tour it next week. Will you come with us?" Of course. The school was amazing. It was bright and colorful, full of children who were signing and laughing and learning. Tommy's eyes went so wide when he saw other deaf kids for the first time. Kids like him. Look, Daddy, he signed excitedly. They're signing. They're like me. Yes, Mr. Montgomery signed back, his heart so full. You're not alone, Tommy. There are so many amazing kids just like you. Tommy started school the next month, and he loved it. He made friends immediately. He learned so much. He came home every day, bursting with excitement, signing 1,000,000 words a minute about his day. And Mr. Montgomery, he listened to every single word. 6 months after that life-changing day, Mr. Montgomery planned something special. He told Tommy to get dressed nice one Saturday morning. We're going somewhere special, he signed mysteriously. Where? Tommy asked, bouncing with excitement. It's a surprise. They got in the car, Maya came too, and drove into the city. They pulled up to a huge building with lots of windows. Where are we? Tommy signed. You'll see. Come on. They walked inside and went up to the 3rd floor. Mr. Montgomery opened a door to a large, empty room with big windows overlooking the city. Tommy looked around, confused. What is this place? Mr. Montgomery knelt down to Tommy's level and took a deep breath. This, he signed, is going to be the new Tommy Montgomery Learning Center. Tommy blinked. What? It's going to be a place where deaf children can come after school and on weekends. They can get extra help with homework, learn new things, make art, play games, and just have fun. It's going to be free for all families, and it's named after you. Tommy's eyes filled with tears. Really? Why? Mr. Montgomery's hands shook a little as he signed. Because you taught me something important, son. You taught me that being different isn't being broken. You taught me what real strength is, and you taught me how to love again. I want to help other kids like you. Kids who maybe feel lonely or misunderstood. I want them to have a safe place where they feel special. Tommy threw his arms around his father's neck. Mr. Montgomery hugged his son tight. Over Tommy's shoulder, he caught Maya's eye. She was crying happy tears. He mouthed the words, "Thank you." She smiled and mouthed back, "You did this. You changed." But they both knew the truth. They'd done it together. And most importantly, Tommy had never given up on his father, even when his father had given up on him. The Tommy Montgomery Learning Center opened 4 months later. On opening day, 50 deaf children and their families came through the doors. There were balloons and music that Tommy enjoyed watching through the vibrations, and so much joy. Tommy, now 9 years old, stood next to his father at the front of the room. Mr. Montgomery gave a speech in sign language he'd been practicing for weeks. "Welcome to the Tommy Montgomery Learning Center," he signed to the crowd. "This place exists because of my son. He taught me that every child deserves to be heard, to be seen, and to be loved exactly as they are. Thank you for being here. This center is for you. For all of you." Everyone clapped, or rather, they raised their hands and shook them in the air, the deaf way of clapping. Tommy's smile was so big it could have lit up the whole city. After the ceremony, a little girl came up to Tommy shyly. She signed, "Hi, I'm Emma. Can we be friends?" Tommy signed back enthusiastically, "Yes, come on, let me show you the art room." The 2 kids ran off together, and Mr. Montgomery watched them go with tears in his eyes. Maya walked up beside him. "You did good, boss," she said with a smile. "We did good," he corrected. "I couldn't have done any of this without you. You saved my son's life. You saved mine too. You saved yourself," Maya said gently. "You chose to change. You chose to love. That was all you." Mr. Montgomery shook his head. "No. You showed me what real love looks like. You never gave up on Tommy, even when I'd given up on myself. You proved me wrong about everything, and I'll be forever grateful." They stood together, watching Tommy play with his new friends, watching deaf children laugh and learn and feel safe and loved. And Mr. Montgomery made a silent promise. He would never, ever take this for granted. He would never go back to being that cold, distant father. He would show up for his son every single day for the rest of his life. because that's what real fathers do. So, what do you think? Did Mr. Montgomery deserve a second chance? Was Maya right to come back and help him? And what would you have done if you were in Tommy's shoes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I love hearing your opinions and stories. And listen, if this story touched your heart, if it made you feel something, if you want to see more amazing, emotional stories like this one, then please hit that subscribe button right now. Join our Emotional Stories family. We share incredible, true-to-life stories every single day that will make you laugh, cry, and believe in the power of love and second chances. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a story. And share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. Remember, everyone deserves to be heard. Everyone deserves to be loved. Everyone deserves a second chance. See you in the next story. Until then, keep spreading love.